What is up, Piss Flaps? JJ back here with the crew. We have PGA playoffs. And as you can see, all of us wore a hat. Wait a minute. Most of us wore a hat.
I will not be wearing a hat on this show. If you guys wear hats, I will be doing the total opposite.
Bobby, or Bob, as some people know him by,
Bob or Robert,
decides to show off his new shape up today. Instead of joining the crew, I mean, the memo was sent out, but this is typical with the show. You know, what I will tell you is we get Mangone tonight in the kitchen. And when Mangone's in the kitchen, what does he have? White wine? Mangone, you want to just kind of flash that? This is a rarity. I mean, you want to talk about uncommon. But again, for PGA playoffs, I'm sure we all take out the best. And even Bobby went to get his haircut today prior to the show. So we thank him for that as well. Guys, with playoffs, anything, at least initially off the top, Snyder, could start with you. That pops in your head versus, you know, what this is typically like for a given week?
Yeah, they're definitely, it's going to be a heightened, it's going to be more of pressure here. They're playing for like 15 million. And then over the next 3 weeks, the winner will take that home. Way bigger prize pools here. I mean, typically in this event, the Northern Trust, you'll see a big dog win this. So it'll be a high, well-known guy winning this event, I would imagine.
Now, the Northern Trust at, what is this, Liberty National Golf Course?
Yeah.
Is this going to score low here, Snyder? You want to just break down the course a bit?
Yeah, this is a par 71. It's going to measure just over 7,400 yards. There's going to be 124 total players in the field. Top 65 in ties will be making the cut. Over 50% of the field will make the cut, meaning golfers will see some smaller greens here. 4,600 square feet on average, meaning it's the sixth smallest greens on tour here. You need to hit fairways too. They've added a few tee boxes to lengthen a few holes and some bunkers as well. The coastal type track, usually the winds come into play here and will kind of keep scores mitigated somewhat, but it's been wet here, so it's been wet, and the winds don't look to be up this week, so it's going to be very good scoring conditions. I expect the winner to come well under what Patrick Reed did. Patrick Reed won the event here in 2019 at 16 under. I'm looking for the winner to come in at around minus 20 this year. Some key stats I'm looking for here is approach around the green, birdies are better, percentage off the tee, par 4, 450 to 500, and some opportunities gained.
Also, I look up and down these names, and there are some plenty big names in this draw.
JJ, I don't know if you know this. This is down the street from me. This is in Jersey City. So if we need like a little Happy Gilmore action where we need to get someone to drive a cart out there and just run someone over to get the winner home, you're on duty this week, just so you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I'll likely have somebody pose for me, but that's fine. I'll have somebody get out there. You need them to streak or anything, just let me know. You know, it worked for us in the Super Bowl, and it should work for us here as well if needed.
Anyone but the fax man. I don't think the fax man will fill in nicely in that role. But
yeah, I mean, he wouldn't even walk around his block, let alone go streaking on a PGA course. But anyway, so I guess we could just slide right into DFS. Instead, we could start with you. Who is some of the plays you're looking for here this week in Daily Fantasy Sports?
Yeah, I'm going to go down to that 9K range. There's plenty of guys in that top tier range that I have an interest in. You guys know I love Morikawa and Brooks, but I'm going to look down at the 9K range at Daniel Berger. He's my favorite play in this 9K range. Just playing great golf right at the moment. Finished 8th or better in three of his last 4 events. He's one of the guys on the bubble to make the Ryder Cup team too, so he's got a more emphasis of playing well here this week. He's averaging over 4 strokes gained approach in his last 10 events. He's hitting fairways at a high clip. Short game's on point, and he ranks 3rd in bogey avoidance this week. And if you want to come, I'll give you like a stone min guy, Sam Ryder. He's 6K even. He's gained off the tee in his last 3 events. He's figuring out his irons as well. The short game's as good as ever. He's averaging 17 birdies made in his last 5 events, and he's thrown in some eagles as well. He's made 6 eagles in his last 3 events, so he can score well. He can make some birdies and be right there, I think. 4 finishes of 35th or better. It's definitely worth a shot here at that min price. You can do like 2 to 3 star-studded lineup here with him. Throw Sam Ryder in there, and it'll lower your average total cost.
You see, that's why Snyder gets universal respect on this show. He comes out here, he gives a play, not a top play, but a good play that he considers value in the 9K range, and then drops a super low price option as well with some good facts behind it. Uncle T, that's a tough act to follow, but who do you like in DFS?
Yeah, not a problem. Snyder's the GOAT, but I have no problem following that. But before I get to my picks, whenever I hear a coastal track or coastal course, Snyder, I got to get the salt levels. I mean, what the hell are the salt levels? Are they average size salt levels on the greens this week or what? I need this information before we go on.
I think we're going to be right around medium salt levels, but this is this track is right up Mangone's alley. I mean, we're going to see some layered rough here. We're going to see some 1.5 inch rough, and it's going to go all the way up to 3 inch rough. I mean, this is Mangone's type of place.
Wow.
The closer we get to the hole, it just gets bigger and bigger. You really love to see it.
Mangone heard salt levels getting discussed and took a big gulp of that wine.
Yeah, but as far as
by the end of the show, I might need to get some more from the fridge. Stay tuned.
Yeah. As far as my picks on the DFS side, I'm like Snyder. I do like a lot of guys up top. I am going to go more of a stars and scrubs build as far as DFS goes this week. But for purposes of this segment, keep an eye on this, Robert. For purposes of this segment, I'm going to go down in the 9K range as well. And I don't mind the Daniel Berger call. It's actually a really good call. I'm going to go up a little bit to Scotty Scheffler. I know he's a guy that, we've been on a little bit, actually quite a bit recently. And he's done everything but get the job done. He's done everything but close on Sunday. And I know that's been a problem for him, but I just feel like a win's coming. A couple weeks ago, Mangone did a great job of taking Abraham Answer when he was, playing good golf and one of those breakthrough candidates. I think Scotty Scheffler is going to be that candidate for me this week. So I like Scotty Scheffler, and I like the Ryder call, but since we're giving one down below, I like 6,500 Matt Wallace. Feels like he is way, way underpriced, in my opinion, from a DFS standpoint this week. If he was $7,200, $7,300, $7,400, even in this loaded field, I probably wouldn't have blinked. 6,500 for Matt Wallace is a huge value, in my opinion. So I've got Scotty Scheffler up top. I've got Matty Wallace down below.
Awesome. See, and that's 2 plays. So Uncle T 2, Snyder 2. We go into Mangone.
About 7.
Snyder gave 3, by the way. He mentioned Morikawa with Berger. I just want to clarify. Snyder mentioned 3.
So everybody, don't hold your breath during Mangone's answer here. But who do you like in DFS this week?
Yeah, so I've gone back and forth on how many players I should name here, but we'll just see what happens, right? That's the best way to do it. Just hop on the Magic School Bus with me, JJ, and let's see what goes down. So I'm gonna start with this and kind of the trend that we're doing. I'm gonna give you a value guy and give you a guy at the top, right? I'm gonna give you 2 that correlate really well too, right? 2 that have great course history that have been playing here phenomenally. That's Ryan Palmer and that is John Rahm. I mean, they both always match up on tracks together. I like kind of combo plattering them together. If you do play Ryan Palmer in your DFS lineups, which I think I'm going to get some exposure to Palmer this week, I'm going to pair it up with Rahm for sure. Now, the question this week for me is, how am I building? Am I going to spend 2 at the top and get all that win equity? Or am I going to maybe go for a 10K guy and then go for one of the guys Snyder mentioned? I won't say his name, so you can't count it against me, JJ. So one of those guys that Snyder mentioned, I thought was an interesting one that I am considering. I do think that it could be a Brooks Koepka week, or as Snyder likes to call him, Kopeka, which that's when he wins and gets the job done for us. So I like the idea of going to Brooks. I know Snyder mentioned the layered rough, and when there is layered rough, who thrives? That's Big Daddy Bryson, Snyder. So watch out. I do think it's a decent week for a low-owned Bryson if you're looking for a guy at the top. But I do like your call with your boy Morikawa. He's playing great as well, so I totally understand. There's so many good guys at the top, but my mid-range guy, there's 2 that I'll give you here. I like Joaquin Niemann at 8,100. I think he is a guy that people are sleeping on a bit that I think is some really good value. And then I think Mr. Ian Poulter is a really good one. He is a grass specialist here. I know Snyder is getting really excited about that. When we talk about the grasses, he loves to lay them down at his course that he works at. So I'm sure when he's laying the grass down tomorrow and smelling it, he's going to be like, man, Ian Poulter and that grass, it's going to be a good time for him.
All right, so we actually kept that pretty good, Mangone. I think there was only about 12 names, so that's better than most weeks. Bob, AKA Robert, what do we like?
How are you doing, Jay?
Doing good.
That's good.
Doing good. I like the segue.
Yeah, fantastic. Did you like the sex ed course I gave in Discord today with the 4 of you?
Yeah, so for those that don't know, Robert today taught us all a little bit about sexual education today. It was a nice little refresher. We won't go into too much detail, but, he's a good friend to have. He's a good friend to have. Anyway, in regards
he's the wingman you never wanted, JJ.
I'll plead the
Your girlfriend will be happy for the information. Like I said in chat.
For DFS, what do you like this week?
I like Brooksy, like 8%. Seeing 8% on Brooks. Obviously it's not a major, but he's just in a really good spot in terms of leverage, like around guys around him. I never play Rory. Rory seems like he's getting chalky. I know a lot of the numbers look really good for Rory, but I like Brooks up top, and then Uncle T hit on Matt Wallace, and I think Matt Wallace is a really good play at 6,500.
Let's go, Bobby. Let's go.
How can you not play that?
It's been a while since you and I have been arm in arm. Let's do it.
Yeah, I like being arm in arm with Uncle T when I get the chance to. So I'm gonna go with Brooksy. I'm gonna go with Matt Wallace down low. That would be my two guys for you.
All right, cool. Yeah, we could slide over to long shot outrights. And as I look at names like this, and Uncle T, I'll ask this question to you. In a tournament like this with all these big names, I mean, guys that are 50 plus to 1, 60 plus to 1, I mean, how often realistically is it that they sneak into actually winning a tournament like this? Again, I look at this field, it's super top heavy. And when I say top heavy, I'd almost argue the top 10% heavy, which is probably 15 to 20 guys. You would figure one of these guys likely wins it. But how often do we see, especially in these playoffs, some of these lower guys actually sneak a W?
I mean, in the recent years, I don't remember too many at all. I think it's the big dogs for the most part. And, to answer your initial question, this week I may do something a little bit different than I know I do. And maybe not everyone else, but I don't actually have a ton of outright bets this week. I'm more loading up on my DFS and loading, kind of concentrating on that. My outrights this week, I just don't think that there's a ton of value. And you mentioned it, that with such a deep field outside of the majors and the WGCs, this is the most loaded field that we will see all year long. So what I think is, while, for article standpoint, Snyder does a great job with an article, Coop, Tambo, they're all doing great jobs with these articles and giving people's plays. But for me, I'm probably going to stay away from the outrights this week because I don't think there's as much value from an outright standpoint. And if you want to go down low, yeah, you can always find somebody to latch onto. But what are the chances of them guys winning the golf tournament with this loaded field? Not very good. So, do you guys feel the same way in a field this way, or am I just kind of out on my own? Do you guys feel yourself, gravitating towards more outrights in a loaded field, or is it just like any other normal week for you guys?
I think all the win equities up top. So I like the take. All the win equity seems to be with the guys above 10K.
So I'll be looking like in that 20 to 30 range mainly for these outrights. Exactly. One of those guys, I think there's some pretty good odds, like on a guy like Daniel Berger. He's at 28 to 1. I think he's a guy that can get there. Brooks is at 22 to 1. Some of those guys in that range would be where I'd be looking at.
If you're building out a card, I'm only living in the 20 and 30 to 1 range, and that's it, because nothing against Jon Rahm, right? But I can get Jon Rahm at a super soft tournament at like 7 to 1 or 8 to 1. Not the most loaded field, right? I know Rory McIlroy is a popular guy this week that's being talked about on the outrights at 20 to 1. But I can get Rory at 20 to 1, Brooks at 21 to 1, Xander at 22 to 1, Justin Thomas at 27 to 1. When do I get Justin Thomas at 27 to 1 at a place where small greens matter? And Snyder said a second shot golf course. Bryson, 29 to 1. I know Snyder loves making fun of Bryson, but Bryson is a high upside guy, right? And those layered rough events is where you can get the job done. The point I'm getting at is, if you are going to make outright bets this week, you bet them in that 20 and 30 to 1 range. And I think that's it. And you can get like exposure to 2 or 3 of those guys and then just sit there and just sit back, relax, and hope that the chips fall your way.
Yeah. So how about we do it this way then? How about we just each give 2 guys that you like the most from an odds perspective, instead of giving an outright and who wins per se. Your 2 favorite outright bets this week, what are they? And, I guess briefly speak on why. But Snyder, I'll start with you. I know you mentioned you liked a lot of guys in that sub 20 to 30 to 1 area. If you only like one, only give one. But is there 2 guys you like value wise to win this tournament?
Yeah, I'm going to go with a Brooks Koepka. I think he's going to bounce back well here. The last 4 times he's finished outside the top 35, he's rebounded with at least a top 5. He's won one event and placed second recently in another. So I definitely like Brooks here. I think he's got the game to play here. He can hit fairways. He can hit greens. I mean, he's got the full total package. And I like backing him when no one else does. And I do kind of like one long shot here. Kevin Streelman's at 100-1. We've seen him in contention at times, and I mean he could catch fire with the putter and be there and be a type of guy that it's definitely a long shot, but at 100-1, I don't mind throwing $20 on him or something.
Nice, Uncle T. Who do you think wins this tournament? And do you have any guy that's similar, in price or whatever that you like as well?
Yeah, I think the guy that wins the golf tournament is going to be Jordan Spieth, but I don't want to give a guy that high, to be honest with you. He's only 12-1, so that's what I was saying before for me this week. I don't really want to give out the outrights too much because I know I'm not going to be playing many outrights. My pick to win the golf tournament is going to be Jordan Spieth. But if you're looking at, again, value outrights, I do like Rory McIlroy at 22-1. I know some people on the other show kind of soured on Rory, but Rory's been playing a lot better golf the last 2, 3, 4 weeks. He played well at the Olympics. His putting has started to come around, and his putter, to be honest with you, is what's really held him back the last 4, 5, 6 weeks. I feel like it's trending in the right direction. And more importantly for me with Rory, why I think he's got a good chance of being in there on Sunday, if he could get off to a good start on Thursday, that's the round that he's been really struggling with. And he gets that, kind of winning feeling and getting up there near the leaderboard. He plays well in these playoffs. The last couple of years, if you go back and look at his history of these FedEx Cup playoffs, that's where he starts to come alive. So I really like him at 22-1. The guy down below that I like quite a bit is Sam Burns at 60-1. Doesn't really have a ton of experience in these playoffs. These younger guys haven't really been accustomed to, playing in this type of a, 3-week run. But 60-1 for Sam Burns, I think he's plenty good enough, even in a loaded field, to where he can compete. So Sam Burns will be my lower shot on the board.
Awesome. Mangone, from a tournament winner standpoint, who do you like here?
Yeah, so I'm going to butt right in here and tell Snyder and Uncle T, we're not betting these long outrights. It's a mistake. I said it the 1 week. It was a mistake. Don't bet them.
But it was part of the segment, Mangone.
No, screw that part of the segment. I said it that week too.
Help me out.
I said it that week too. Screw that part of the segment. It's not happening.
As a bipartisan host here, I want to be clear that we had all discussed we weren't going to give long shot outrights. And then we went ahead and we gave long shot outrights.
One up top, one down below.
No, that's not what he said.
A lottery ticket.
So anyways, I'm going to tell the people that just listen to Snyder and Uncle T, they're very sharp, good-looking fellas, but no, what they just said was wrong, and sometimes guys get stuff wrong. So apologize for their terrible behavior. Do not bet those longer guys. This is who you're betting. Snyder did a great call, though, with Brooks Koepka, right? I love him this week. I think it's a good spot for him. I like the bounce back. I'm going to give you one more bounce back candidate who's in that 20 range, right? And it's Justin Thomas. I mean, you go to the FanDuel Sportsbook, you can grab him right now at 27-1. I'm sure if you price shop it, you can find some other ones. Now, I'm going to explain why Justin Thomas, I think, is a good player. I don't know if that's you under your breath talking some garbage, Uncle T. Is that you?
I hate being on the opposite side of Mangone.
Okay, why is it a bad idea? Why is that?
You got 36 seconds to explain it. Go ahead.
No, I'll hang up and listen, Uncle T. Why is it a bad idea? The floor is yours.
What are you, Jim Jerome, all of a sudden? I'll hang up and listen. Look at you with your little glass of wine.
What? Whoa. I thought I was the favorite to get booted.
We don't need that type of behavior. Like, I'm all for Mangone, talking shit to people on this, but you just want to just pound in the slander. I mean, that's not going to be tolerated. And I'm looking at you too, Bobby. You laughing when Mangone got booed.
That was kind of hurtful, JJ. I'm not going to lie. Me and Mangone,
he should have been punished.
Now, Travis, I saw you take a big jug of that wine again.
I was about to grab the fridge real quick to fill up. We lost some, so
deservedly so. So you can continue on.
All right, so let me give the sales pitch to old Uncle T over there. So gather around, kids. Let's listen to my talk on Justin Thomas. So, Justin, I'm betting him to win, right? Like, I'm not playing him in DFS. It's not for that, right? It's to win because he is a guy that can close an event, right? I'm not coming out here and talking up Tony Finau when the dude has never closed an event, right? Like Justin Thomas can close.
Bobby's right there. He can hear you for the first off.
That's okay. That's okay. So let me talk about JT a little bit and some of his recent form. If you look at Justin Thomas, right? Look at him at the Memorial, he lost 5.96 strokes putting. He was absolutely terrible. That was the short game. The putting, he lost 9 strokes. The next week, he bounced back at the U.S. Open all the way to 8 strokes gained putting. Now, he's lost strokes at the when he played at the Olympics, and then he lost it at the FedEx St. Jude's, right? That putting can easily bounce back the other way, and all the approach play is there. That's what Justin Thomas needs to win events. That's what happens. It's when the putting bounces back the other way and the irons are right. You do not see a 27-1 on Justin Thomas. You rarely get that type of number, and he's won many big boy events. But if you want to go and bet Scotty Scheffler at 35-1, right, who doesn't close these events, that's fine. But that's a guy that can close. And that's a huge skill in the PGA that isn't talked about enough when we're betting outrights.
Now, overall, do you have anybody else you like, Mangone, or is it just like all in JT?
Well, it's JT and Brooks, right? For the outrights, right? For that rate, like I want to, like even Bryson, like you can make arguments. You're not going to bet Bryson. I say this all the time. You're not going to bet him in a head-to-head. Snyder always tries to bait me. Oh, I'll take a head-to-head Bryson versus this. No, that's a bad way to bet Bryson. You bet him to win. You bet him top 5, and even top 5, it's tough too because he gets in. Not that he melts down, but he tries to shoot for the moon, right? So it's like it can end poorly on Sundays. I want to bet those outright numbers on some of these guys that have some really crazy numbers. Like 27-1 on Justin Thomas is just wrong. If you're betting John Rahm instead of Justin Thomas, like I just think you're flat out wrong for doing that at this type of field.
What are your thoughts on Uncle T leaving that mid-segment, Mangone? Do you think is that like just a he doesn't respect you type of walkout, or?
I don't know. Maybe he's gathering his thoughts after what I said. He's a little rattled and he's trying to rethink things and regroup. Sometimes you need to just walk away from the device.
I
figure things out. So we'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Now that you mention it, Uncle T got pretty red there for a bit. So maybe
First off,
maybe a little woosah moment.
First off, I have a great deal of respect for my boy Mangone. A great deal of respect. Second off, my wife texted me while Mangone was in his little. I said 36 seconds. He went like 3 minutes and 36 seconds.
just like your wife, Uncle T. I don't.
My wife texted me and said the TV is up too loud. Can you turn it down? I said, honey, I don't want to, break any news to you, but my TV isn't on down here in my man cave, so it must have been on upstairs. So anyway, no, hey, Mangone, I'm giving you some shit, but hey, I've been on Thomas a lot more than probably most the last 4 or 5 weeks, and it hasn't worked out for me. So maybe, in all honesty, I have some of that. Recency bias against Justin Thomas is why I'm kind of off of him, but I definitely get it due to the value of the price tag there. I definitely agree with that.
Now, Bobby, the last but not least, who's your tournament winner here?
I said it in the first segment. Brooksy, he's just a good play. He's good. I don't understand why Mangone doesn't want to play him in DFS. Obviously,
I didn't say. I
understand why Mangone doesn't want to play him in DFS. He doesn't play. In GBP,
when did I say I didn't want to play him in DFS?
Bobby, now he's going to start in on you.
No, you said it at the top of the segment. You wanted to bet him outright. You didn't want to play him in DFS. That's like your words verbatim. We can go back.
JJ, pull the tape.
Yeah.
What do you mean? No, I never said that.
Maybe you didn't mean it that way, but that's how it is.
I hope that's what Mangone said, because I'll just clip. I think
he's just explaining like it's outright and like behind.
You literally will pull up my shell build right now, and he's there, like he's in there. It's like I got to decide between all these different guys. I mean, there's a lot at the top to like.
Definitely. I'm 100% with you. And then JT, obviously, I think JT's a great play at 27. On DK, they're showing 25, so you want to line shop there. Those are probably might be my 2 outrights if I was betting.
Nice. So I guess I have to now go back and watch. I have to see what you said, Mangone. I'm hoping. I am hoping you started that with I didn't play him in DFS.
I don't think he meant it that way, but that's
if I didn't, you got my 12 DFS plays wrong at the top and shove it down to 11, JJ. I'm just to be honest. He's the first guy I mentioned.
I love it. I love it.
Did you guys happen to hear Hoops outright play on the DFS show? I realized none of you guys were probably watching, but
who was it, Snyder?
Hoops on our guy, top 10 Tony.
Oh no. He's a smart guy. What's he doing?
Who's on fire though? I don't know if
he was drinking some wine. I mean,
I have to confess, I don't think he's going to win, but because he's not listen, hold on, because he's not 94, 9,500, he's 8,200. A 10th place finish is fine for 8,200. So I don't think he'll win, but I actually have a little interest in him this week for DFS.
Of course you do.
By the way, slide into that live show chat, right, and see that Tim Allenwood has my back. Tim, I'll tell you this: go on Twitter.
That's your burner account.
Go on Twitter, Tim. Send me a DM, right? Send it to Mangone. I'll get you a Rum Pure Sports shirt for that because you got my back, Tim.
Could you imagine being on a live show and then using a burner on a live show and then commenting directly to the burner?
It's just not right.
I need more wine after.
How about this comment? I mean, what are we doing, Mangone? I mean,
it's great. Mangone just backs up 1 foot from his stool, his small stool there, and he gets another cold drink. You gotta love it.
That was within an arm's reach. I like that. I like it.
Yeah, that was very it's right there for me.
I like it. That was I accidentally clicked that. My bad, Tim. Well, I mean, my bad, Mangone. I guess.
Don't worry, Tim. You get a shirt if you DM me. DM Mangone on Twitter. Travis Mangone. I will hook you up.
I will say this for JJ. Can I cap this off by now? This is going to come back to bite me next week, but that's how I roll. I don't mind being wrong. Last week I had a rough week. We didn't even get into our recap of last week, but I had a rough week last week. But I do not care as much for Koepka and Thomas this week. And I do have a lot of interest in Spieth and Rory. So if you guys want to slide on in for any matchups with those two, Uncle T's here to give out some free cheese if you guys want it.
It's a perfect segue. Uncle T. Anybody?
Who do you not like?
I don't like Brooks or JT.
I don't like JT.
Yeah, I mean, again, I talked about I will not bet JT in a head-to-head. I mean, you don't listen, Uncle T. I said that.
I wasn't directing that just at you, Travis. I was directing that at the whole panel.
All right, I'm just making.
Some Brooks action.
You know, that's one of those things. Whenever you say, "Hey, anyone interested in Tony Finau?" We all look at Robert, right? We don't.
Oh, look who it is!
I've never played Tony. I played Tony Finau 1 week. I've never played Tony Finau.
Robert, that's how it works.
You know that
that's how it works. One bad experience with it, and he's yours for life. It just
every Tuesday night, 30 minutes later, more. Our boy Corporate Joey Work shows up in the chat, Mr. Work.
Anytime I see Tony Finau's name in the bottom of the leaderboard, I immediately think of Robert Gomes. Like it's just automatic. I scroll through the leaderboard. I'm going through the top 100. Once I get to 120s, 130s, and I see Finau's name, it just
I'll play Finau this week if he stays sub 10%.
And yeah, to answer your question, Joey, the memo went out last week actually about the hats. Bobby obviously cares more about how his shape up looks than actually wearing a hat.
I don't follow the leaders. I'm not a lemming. I don't play Finau every week.
You know, Bobby doesn't like the whole team aspect of things, which is fine. You know, I can respect that to a certain extent. But yeah, so there's your answer, Joey. And as Uncle T mentioned, we could slide right into matchups. Snyder, any match? And again, you feel free to use the same names you've been. Any targetable matchups you like this week, or at least names to look out for in matchups?
Yeah, I'm looking to target Morikawa and Kevin Streelman. I like Kevin Streelman versus Keegan Bradley, -110. I think Streelman's got way more. They both got equal upside. I think Streelman's way more safer, so I like him there. Morikawa, I like backing him pretty much any event. I like him coming off a rebounding week here. He has talked about he does struggle sometimes from jet lag going from like east to west coast, and he came back from Japan and played that WGC event. Had his worst event in I think since May. He got 26th, which was his. He's used to getting top 10 every week. So I like Morikawa. He's -126 against Dustin Johnson. I like that. Some fading DJ this week. Pretty much anyone that Morikawa is lined up against, I like.
Awesome. And Uncle T, who's your matchup target this week?
Yeah, that was a big shock about Morikawa there. That was definitely not the shock part of the show there for sure. But no, guys I'm targeting against this week are Xander up top, and I'm targeting against Harris English. I know he's getting some traction. He's been playing great golf, but you know what? He's not a winner. I don't think. You know, I know he won a couple weeks ago, but I don't know, guys. When he broke down, what was that last week or whatever? I think him and Henley, they both had a chance to finish those off. Now you get a full field event. They're good golfers. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they're not any good, but I just think English might be in for a little bit of a letdown this week. So I actually like a matchup with a guy that you guys didn't care much for, which is Victor Hovland -110 over Harris English this week will be my matchup play of the week.
Love it. Travis, slide over to you. Who's your matchup target or fade this week?
Yeah, I will say I like Ian Poulter a lot, but the problem with Ian Poulter in some matchups is like the guys I see him matched up against, it's very difficult to find a good one. So shop around if you can get a good one. And just to kind of give you an example, right? I pulled the DK book. Ian Poulter against Matt Fitzpatrick. Listen, I'm not saying I want to play Fitzpatrick this week, but I'm not going out to target him. And same with Adam Scott, right? Those are some tough guys he's against, and that's some respect for Poulter. So if you can find a worse golfer out there on some of these books, I think targeting Poulter is a good idea. One that I found on FanDuel that I can sign off on. I think that Shane Lowry is similar to Ian Poulter for me, where I have interest in Shane Lowry as being like a steady Eddie kind of safe guy. I'm not saying Shane Lowry is going to go out here and win the event, but I think he's a great cut maker. I think he's a guy that can also charge towards on Sunday to get to like the top 20, top 15 and win some matchup bets for you. And he can certainly do that against Sergio Garcia, who, yes, Sergio is a very boom bust kind of guy. He can't putt. If Sergio plays well, you'll see him up there in the top 10 and he'll crush it. But there's times where he absolutely tanks and can easily miss the cut. So I think Lowry and Poulter are the guys. And on the FanDuel Sportsbook, Lowry versus Garcia, and you're getting him at -102 on Lowry, while Sergio is -126. I think that's a pretty good bet there.
Nice. Robert, matchup target or fade?
Yeah, I'm going to go Morikawa over Jordan Spieth. I've been on the Morikawa train with Snyder since like the beginning. A lot of people are going to be on Spieth this week, but just want to obviously smaller greens. Morikawa is going to stick pins.
Uncle T, do you feel attacked with that?
No, because my DMs are always open.
I see.
Wait.
We can talk after.
What am I getting? Am I getting plus odds, or you get? I haven't even looked at it. I didn't look at that matchup. What is
Spieth's going to be a favorite.
Spieth is?
He's 12-1 to win the
favorite. Spieth's -125.
You guys might get some Uncle. You guys might get some Uncle T bucks this week. I feel generous. I mean, I feel like it's a giving season. We're towards the end of the summer. Playoffs are here. You can get some free money.
Yeah, I Morikawa. I don't know, mate. It seems like a really good golf course for him, especially if he's sticking pins, and that's what he does. And Spieth, I don't know. It's just chalk Spieth again. We'll see how that goes for everyone.
Chalk Spieth. Morikawa is going to be higher owned than Spieth.
I was seeing.
It's going to be close, but
I think Morikawa is going to be like around 10%.
Yeah, it's very close.
I mean, that shouldn't be your argument, is all I'm saying. Like,
that's the way I think about it. So I'm gonna be MMEing, so
yeah,
love it. Well, I kind of don't love it, but I do kind of love it at the same time.
I thought Spieth was chalkier. I'm sorry.
No, Ron will be. I think Ron will be by far the chalkiest in the upper 10K range. I might be wrong, but
no, I think you're right.
Yeah, I think he'll be like 20-25% for sure.
All right, so last but not least, top 20s, T20s, as the cool kids say. We'll change things up a bit here. Mangone, you're usually a T20 guy. Potentially, maybe Streel Daddy? Is that somebody who sneaks in there for you?
No, not super excited about Streel Daddy, I'd say. I'm trying to think. I had one before the show, and now I'm blanking on who it was. So I'm doing the quick scroll to see if their name pops out to me again.
Got him off guard, JJ.
Yeah, he caught me off guard.
That was the whole point. I saw him napping. I saw his eyes getting heavy from the wine, and he just kind of attack.
Oh, we'll go back to Mr. Ryan Moore at +550, right? If John Rahm, lines up well here and his great history, and so does Palmer. He has some pretty decent history here. I'll pull it up right now. I mean, the course history for Palmer, it's not bad. I think he's a guy that can get you that top 20 there and can grind it out. I'm not saying he's a guy who's going to win the event, but he got T8, T77, T5, and T13. I mean, 3 out of 4 getting those top 20s. And again, Rahm has been good here. I think it's a pretty good spot, +550 on Ryan Palmer, top 20. That's my guy.
I thought you said Ryan Moore.
No. Thankfully,
Right.
no.
Ryan Moore lost his tour card. You guys see that?
Yeah, I mean,
Him
doesn't
and-
Wait,
him
wait,
and
wait,
Tommy-
wait, is the guy not Ryan Moore?
Fleetwood did too.
no, it's Ryan Palmer.
Oh, Paul.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus, I can't.
Oh,
delete
he did
Ryan.
write down Ryan Moore. I thought you did. You inadvertently said Ryan Moore, but
Maybe I could have said it by
I'm
accident.
like Ron Burgundy and Anchorman. I mean, you put it in here. I write it down. I mean, it's the exact opposite. But you say Ryan Moore, that name goes in the chat. Whether
you guys see Fleetwood lost his card too. Not to get off topic, but I was a little shocked that Fleetwood lost his tour card.
He lost the tour card, really? I know there's a bunch playing for the Corn Ferry Tour, right? To get there to fight for their card. I guess maybe he's
Isn't
in
that right, Snyder? I thought I saw that right.
I'm not for sure or not. That surprised me. I mean, he should have enough like Euro points, I would think.
Yeah. I could have looked at it wrong. I thought Ryan Moore, like Patrick Rogers, Benny On, those are all guys that lost their tour card. But sorry, JJ, I didn't mean to
no. All good. All good. Snyder, top 20. Who you like?
I'm going to go with a little longer shot here. A guy I've been backing a lot over the last probably couple months, Seamus Power. He let people down last week, finished 60th, but I can just chalk that up to a bad week. He still hit over 75% of his greens, which was the fourth straight week he's hit that many greens. He had a bad week putting, lost over 2 strokes putting, so I think he can bounce back from that pretty easy. Ranks 5th in bogey avoidance and 9th in birdies or better gained over the last 24 rounds. And you can get him at a top 20 right now at plus 550 on FanDuel.
Great. Oh, I have 500 here, but 550 is even better. Uncle T, top 20. You like anything?
Yeah, I like that power call. But for me, I'm going to a guy that I don't think any of us has mentioned this entire show. He was over 10K, if I'm not mistaken, last week, obviously in a less than stellar field. Jason Kokrak. See what he is on FanDuel, guys, if you can. I've got him plus 250 on DK Sportsbook for a top 20, but Jason Kokrak feels like a pretty good, top 20 bet. Been playing some really good golf, and again, I think he gives you a little bit of value down here on the plus or plus 250.
What do you have? I got plus 280 on FanDuel.
Okay. 280, even better.
Plus
like
280, and that's another guy. When I was looking at those matchups, Uncle T, I was like, "What's Lowry against?" Right? He's against Kokrak, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't want to target that." Right? So I love that call. I think that's a good one with Mr. Kokrak. He has a ton of upside here at this event.
Yep.
And Bobby, before you give your top 20, I want to let you know Anthony Finau plus 190, top 20. That's appetizing.
Yeah, but why would I play Finau when I can play Matt Wallace? 10 of the last 12 cuts, 3 top 10 finishes. Going to be pretty chalky down at 6,500 on DK. I like Matt Wallace though, 6,500. I was surprised none of these hit on him for the top 20 at plus 600. Going last, you guys usually steal all my guys, so that's pretty good. I'll consistently always be JJ's last in this rotation, I guess.
Little 6-1. I mean, I try to do you favors. I feel. I mean, you know what? I can mix you in. Don't poke. Don't poke.
It's all right. No, it's fine. It's fine.
Don't poke the bear. I can.
I don't mind going second or third. Not first. Though.
It's like,
you don't want the.
I mean, you want to talk about a diva. He's like, I just don't want to go last. Like I don't want to go first, but like I don't want to go last. So
If he would have played by the rules
in the middle.
I think in the middle, like if you could just slot me in somehow. Oh, don't worry, that'll happen. Next week you better be on your fucking game. Yeah.
Robert needs a player's coach, right? He needs a player's coach that really tends to him, and make sure to tend to him next week.
I need to be coddled.
Okay. You ask questions, you'll get answers. That's what happens on this show. All right, so we could just go on last notes on the course or anything that you have going in. Robert, we could start with you.
Oh,
Final notes.
Final
notes on the course. Feel free to give any helpful insight here. The floor is yours.
Yeah, Northern Trust, great second shot golf course. Snyder, want to help me out here with the Northern Trust? What are we looking at?
I just can't.
What are you looking for?
Snyder, what are your final notes on the course and anything you're looking for a target, whether it's bet-wise, DFS wise?
Yeah, I think we're going to have an action-packed week here. I look for a lot of big-name guys to be there at the end of the round Sunday. It's always going to be a big-name guy winning here, so we should have a good, probably even a playoff. I wouldn't throw it out the way this season's going come Sunday.
Great. Uncle T, any last notes here?
Yeah, this is going to be a fun 3-week stretch, to be honest with you. And, all kidding aside, I know I kid around more than anybody on the show, but, you got 4 guys here and that really follow, the golf stuff. And in this 45 minutes, you've had a lot of different takes, and we don't discuss anything prior to the show. And, while I like a couple different guys up top, then you guys, it's like you get real perspective from all 4 of us to where we're not going to sit and just choke each play, and just agree. We're going to give you the good takes, and you guys take with it what you want. But it's a fun week. Next week we got the BMW, where I believe it was John Rahm, possibly, I think, that won last year there. So, fun week of golf, and good luck to all of you guys out there, and also to my lovely panel here. Win some money this week.
Awesome. Love it, Uncle T. And Mangone's Burner's at it again. I don't know if this question's for Snyder or if Mangone's Burner's asking Mangone a question. It's like odd. It's odd, but do we want to address this here? I assume
I got time.
I don't even know.
What do we have to address here? What's going on, JJ?
Just look.
Tim Allen was sliding in our DMs on YouTube, Mangone. Is that your burner?
Is your grass well groomed? He wants to know, Mangone.
I still don't have a DM from my man Tim over here to get that free T-shirt. I'm waiting for that, but I don't know how that's a Snyder question with the grass, right? He is a specialist at small greens, so Snyder, give us your breakdown on the grass. Tim needs it.
Yeah, we're gonna have some bent grass greens here. They should be rolling they'll be rolling pure right around 12 and a half on the step meter.
Rolling pure, I like it.
Rolling pure, that's how we like it.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Snyder, so actually this is a great segue. I always ask you a question during this segment when JJ wants my thoughts, and then I go and just shoot you a question. So these are I heard these are slower greens, correct? Are they slower, faster? What's the speed? Like, what kind of golfer should we be looking at? Because like Morikawa, does he make sense because he's not as good of a putter? Because sometimes when it's slower greens, right? When it's slower, it means it's one of those where it makes it easier for those crappy putters. And then when it's faster, it hurts those really good putters where it negates it for those crap putters, right? So which one is it? Should we be cheering for the crap putters this week?
I think it'll be about an average. 12 on the step meter is pretty average. It's fast, but it's not like Augusta fast. He's actually been putting really well on bent grass too recently. Morikawa has. So I look for these to be, they're going to be right around average, what they usually see on tour.
All right, and one more question, Snyder. I'm going to double down. What is if you could only research this whole event with one stat? What's the one stat you're looking at?
Strokes gained approach.
Strokes gained approach. That's what it is. Okay, the people know strokes gained approach, and that means take your clothes off and pound it to Morikawa.
All right, Bobby, you have your last chance to say something.
I think didn't I already go?
Yeah, but you
everyone have a great week. Make sure NFL is coming up. RPS 15. What's the promo code? We didn't throw that out there.
NFL RPS 15.
I love it.
If you want to see more of Bob like this, we're doing a bunch of best ball shows.
We're doing
right on over to that
Monday, Thursday night with Snyder. Just make sure you're tuning into those.
I love it. This is the dysfunction of the show is what makes it. It's what makes it.
If you had Bobby being a company man, like dropping all the promo codes instead of me, right? Like cash that ticket. That's like a 10-1 right now. That's
10-1 ticket's a good ticket.
All sports one price. You got all these other imitators out there going to start charging you $300, $400, $500 for NFL. They can't even touch us, and we're going to offer you everything for one price. And that 15%.
Joey Work saying Mangone wins the hat contest. Come on, Joey Work.
That's a bad take.
This is from the Wizard Golf Course down in Myrtle Beach.
From the Shorty.
Thank you, Joey Work. I didn't even best out. I didn't even bust out my best hat. My best hat is actually locked downstairs because I'm at the grandparents' place, and my grandma thinks we live in Harlem, and both the doors downstairs are locked. And I'm not sifting through to get keys to try and get into the house. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Dude, that's
Mangone having a 3-minute answer on his hat.
Mangone living in a basement with a bolted shut basement.
I'm upstairs, but it's not connected. So getting downstairs is a house.
Downstairs. We can't say that.
Man, no, before we go, what do we got in the fridge behind you besides wine? What do we got back there? Show the people what's in the fridge.
There's not a lot in here. I'll say that. Some ketchup packets. There's some avocados. We got some good stuff.
There we go.
Oh, don't show them the bottom.
Avocados.
Yeah, I mean, some more wine, some Miller Lite, I mean, it's a fridge. I don't know. That's what we got there.
It's a fridge. I don't know. All right, no, good show, guys. Thanks as always, and obviously, folks, thanks for hanging out. Mangone's burner, Tim Allenwood, thank you for being active in the chat, and then Mangone calling. It was a weird segment, but either way, awesome.
Not even the weirdest segment on the show. I'm sure there were weirder, JJ.
I mean, this is up there, Mangone. I mean, you got your own burner blowing up the live chat, blowing up a live chat, and then
Bobby said he gave us a sex ed class, so yeah, we had some weird conversations on this.
Overall, thanks as always. Yes, Uncle T, thumbs up. If you like the video, if you didn't like it, I mean, whatever. Either way,
not whatever. Tell them to go pound sand or something like that.
Either way, thank you for watching. We'll be back next week, of course, another golf show. Joey Works got you covered a baseball play tonight. There's also an NFL breakdown video as well for a division breakdown. I don't know the exact division, but 2 of them were done last week, 2 more this week. That should be coming out tonight as well. And then I should be back with tennis with spread tomorrow. And then more baseball all week, more baseball on the weekend. And we will be transitioning to, college football next week. So stay tuned for all that. And, of course, NFL right around the corner. But all things considered, be sure to gamble responsibly. Stay safe, folks. And as always, run pure. We'll see you next time.